Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Demystifying SAP S/4HANA. I'm Faisal, SAP consultant at PwC.
And I'm Thorsten Hübsch, partner at PwC and leading the SAP Practice in Belgium and the European Center of Excellence for SAP Strategy. Hey, Faisal.
Hello. It's already our 10th episode, Thorsten. Time goes by quick.
Indeed. And today a very iconic one.
Yes, indeed, because we are experiencing a great time within our SAP practice, celebrating two S/4HANA go lives that basically took place simultaneously. And we decided to make an episode that is not following the normal format, but focusing on this special moment today.
Yes, indeed. This is really a very special moment for the whole SAP team here at PwC. They really did a really great job.
So let's dive into it. While many S/4HANA transformations that we see in the market faces big challenges, especially when going live, these two were very successful. Today's episode, we will focus a bit on summarizing the secrets of these successes, while our memories are still fresh.
Yeah, very good idea, Faisal. I think it will be interesting for many of our listeners. But first, we need to come back to our last episode when we touched AI. Probably the latest episode in a technology podcast nowadays touches on AI, and we got a lot of feedback.
Yes, indeed, Thorsten, almost forgot. So we got the feedback that the challenge that you have mentioned about SAP's AI not being able to cover non-SAP systems is not quite true.
Yeah, that's true and not true. Let's quickly cover that. Theoretically, this is correct because SAP has the idea that if you have a non-SAP system, this is all covered by putting into place the Business Data Cloud, the BDC, a new solution that is gathering the data from various source systems, so SAP and non-SAP, and putting on top of that their AI. The reason why I still think it's a big challenge to keep that very short is that we basically do not see any customers out there having BTC already, and knowing that this adoption will not happen in the next year or the next 2 years, and at the same time seeing the enormous speed that AI is seeing in the market, I think that just this prerequisite for having an AI across an SAP AI across SAP and non-SAP system is not realistic. So hence I was doing a bit of a shortcut. So theoretically, it is correct that SAP can cover also non-SAP systems. But of course, due to the fact that not a lot of customers have the BDC in place, the prerequisite is simply not there. So, but I think we can close that topic here and actually move on to the actual topic of our 10th episode. A small anniversary for us. Let's kick it off, Faisal.
Yes, indeed. I think it's clear now for the listeners, so we can continue with our successful go lives.
Yes, indeed.
So let's start on the understanding a bit the context maybe, and then are there commonalities of both projects, for example?
Yes, indeed. Not only that they were going live in the same month. This is not the only commonality. Both customers and systems show a number of commonalities. So both customers are coming from completely different industries, but both have a legacy SAP ERP with a couple of decades of history in it. They also have a huge bunch of custom code, also called set code, that has piled up over the years in their systems. But also both had an ambition. They had an ambition not just to do a technical upgrade and move to S/4HANA, but they also wanted to basically change a number of elements in their systems and improve with innovations, leave old data behind, and not pollute their new system with historic data from 20 years ago. Both also have a global operations, among others in Brazil and the US, and both clients followed also the same approach. An approach that sometimes is referred to as Bluefield, which is a registered trademark from S&P. In the SAP, by SAP itself, it's called selective data migration. The technology behind, or not the technology, but the approach behind is basically the same. So there were quite a lot of commonalities.
Nice to hear, Torsten. But were there also differences between these?
Yes. So commonalities ended there when we look at the sheer system size of both clients. We have on the one hand side a rather small system which came up with 800 gigabyte of database size, which we could reduce to under 200 gigabyte than on the HANA. And the other one was more in the range of 2 terabyte. So this is indeed different leagues. But also the complexity of both clients is much, much different. We have on the one hand side a company which has about 1,000 employees being active in 4 countries, while the other customer is active in about 60 countries and has about 5,000 employees. The one company spans over 10 company codes, and the other one has 80 separate legal entities. So in terms of sizing and complexity, it's quite different. But also there was a difference in maturity. Smaller companies sometimes also tend to be less mature, and in this case, this was also the case. So we had a client which was basically running the SAP system, but not really managing it or developing it, enhancing it. On the other hand side, we had a whole IT team that was taking care of the SAP system. And so that's, of course, a big difference also when you approach such a project, that if you have in the IT department only a couple people that you rely on, then a lot is on their shoulders. So these were some of the differences that we have encountered when we approached basically both customers.
Yeah, so we were basically comparing a mouse with an elephant, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. We internally within PwC, we called it always the little sister, but it's indeed a sister because the projects, not only in terms of timeline but also in terms of approach, as I mentioned, were so similar. And still, we also did a lot of things different when we, for example, look at aspects like data validation when moving from the one to the other system. We pursued completely different approaches. On the one hand side, it was something handmade. On the other hand side, we used an service within PwC called Data Validation Solution, DVS, which helped us to validate the data that had been transferred by S&P. So we used our partner S&P in both projects, and then we basically validated throughout the different migration cycles the data from the old system with the data in the new system to see whether we have a more or less complete transformation.
Okay. Let's maybe discover the secret sauce we are using here at our practice. What made the project so successful?
Well, I think something that stands out is certainly the one team. It's a conviction of myself after many, many transformations that if you do not manage to really create one team, then you are not really starting on the right foot. So in general, both both projects needed time that not only business and IT, not only customer and PwC, but also all the different parties, like also S&P. And in one project, we also used SmartShift to mitigate custom code. All these different participants, and in one project, we had over 7 different parties, have grown together. And not only grown together to somehow work together, but also developed a certain level of trust to go through difficult times. And as in every project, also these projects faced quite difficult moments. The one project had an implementation time of only 7 months. This is, of course, very, very ambitious if you see that you want to make a complex transformation and you have three different migration cycles, test cycles. And there you really need to trust each other across the team, where you then also not look at who is in whose team, but where you only have one team at the end. Both projects succeeded really well in doing that. And therefore, although not having an easy start on that aspect, we really managed to go together over the finish line as one team, and really driving that home successfully. So next to the first one, we also have a commonality which some of our listeners might have heard earlier. But here I would want to focus a bit more. It was in both cases a business-driven project. I wouldn't go that far that the business was in the driver's seat, but certainly business was a partner which was not just activated by IT, but really has had a own role in the project, and was even in one of the projects summarizing and presenting the design documents to the project leadership team. And that was, of course, a very strong moment when you see that the head of finance or the head of logistics is then describing and explaining what we will do at the end in the S/4HANA transformation. And these business-driven aspect in the project can probably not be overstated, because that means they were in the same boat with everyone. They could not abandon it at a certain moment in time, but they really felt also accountable. They felt the ownership of the success, and that was definitely a very crucial moment. Maybe to name a couple more, both customers succeeded to free up their best people in focusing on the transition. So we really received time of the lead people. This is a big challenge for a lot of customers, because the best people, of course, are booked out for a lot of activities, are usually already going extra miles, and then are supposed to take lead roles in these projects. So freeing them up was certainly also contributing to a successful go live. Both clients managed also to have a C-level attention and really a priority on C-level. In both cases, it was the CFO who was really putting their shoulders under this project and moving it forward when they also faced one or the other difficulties. And maybe to name two more, we have in both projects very, very experienced people that actually know how good looks like. They have gone through previous S/4HANA transformations. They know where are the obstacles, where things can go wrong. And of course, you can have the one or the other less experienced person in there, but in the lead roles, it is important that you have really people who have seen these things already a couple times, and then can also judge situations and also assess what is the right approach to overcome difficulties. Maybe as the last one, I think both projects were also set up that they, from the beginning, have planned certain moments throughout the project to review their approach. So I think I have not seen any of the transformations that were set up in the beginning in the same way as they ended. And if you plan from the beginning already to learn from things, to get feedback out of the organization, what can be improved, what can be changed, then this is, I think, also a very, very important element to really tailor the project in a way that it is set for success. Maybe this to conclude a bit the list of the things that actually made both projects successful. I think there were some individual aspects in both projects as well, but if you ask really what was common in terms of success factors, I think this is quite a complete list, Faisal.
Yes, again, a lot of interesting information, Torsten. As takeaways, maybe out of this list, what were the three most important ones in hindsight?
Yeah, three. That's of course tough to boil down to three. Faisal, allow me to name four. I think the one theme stands out among all of them. If you get that right, if you form one team, you can deal with a lot of obstacles. That's number one. Number two, having the right people in the project. Important to do interviews in the beginning to really see, are these the people who know what they are talking about? Have they done things before? Important as well. You
Mhm.
remember, another one was really that the business is an active part of the project. And then my bonus one, number 4, is definitely C-level attention. So if you have the priority at the C level, at the CFO, at the CEO, then you are actually well equipped to overcome things that you cannot foresee at the beginning and that you just have to deal with along the way. So these would be my 4 favorites in terms of success factors. Why both projects went live. One without any defects at go live. The other one with defects, but none of them were critical. Both had very successful month-end closings without delays. So everything a customer could wish for when facing such an extremely complex transformation from an ERP system going then to S4HANA and changing a lot of things along the way. So that would be, in a nutshell, the 4 elements that I would focus on.
Indeed. As Torsten mentioned, a very boring two go lives, but I think that
Yeah.
in a positive way, very successful.
True.
As always, I want to close by saying thank you for listening. And yeah, share it with whoever might be interested, and subscribe for getting noticed on the next episodes as well.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Faisal. And to all listeners, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You find our contacts in the show notes, and very much looking forward to the next session. Let's close up this first small anniversary. Looking forward having you in the next one as well. See
Yes.
you.
See you. Bye bye.